This is previously on last week's episode. You got to do it in the AMC voice.
But anyway, so then after that, we stayed at an inn called the Porter's Reason, where apparently they sell a large jug of beer called the Reason, lubricated, and Faldir told the story of a dwarf bricklayer named Jim, and I accompanied his really bad story with some even worse music. And then we met a man the next morning named Thanik Galathanu, who was drunk on reasons, and he said he was looking for wastewalkers, and that there's a well on the east side of town with a bug problem.
But we went there, and they were like bugs, and they're like, yeah.
And Cup died.
The only thing I'll add to that is that someone broke their penknife trying to carve open
I don't remember that.
the
I don't remember
sandworm,
that at all.
looking for treasure.
So we finally got to the berries, and we tried to start ripping them out of the ground, and some viney peeps sprang out of the ground and tried to hit us real hard. And we thought it was fine. We won. They died. And then Thanik paid us, and that was glorious. And then he stood up on a table and announced things about like how we were saving people and it was us, not the government. And we were all like, As a result, sometime later, we ended up with drugs. So then we were stoned as fuck for a little bit. And then everybody started doing their training. And I really only took notes on mine, except that I remember Quixote stared at a cactus for a while.
Karina, right? Karina. Went to Karina's. Remember the name. Went to Karina's and met her. She was awesome. Southern Belle, just beautiful woman. Shrasa went to the water temple. Hers was the best experience. She met with her cool, monk teacher. He asked her, "What is water? You know, what does water mean to you?" And she gave some equally kind of philosophical answers about stuff. And they had a good time there. And Tastic and Milo strolled on over to the arena, where we met with our one-armed mole, who is called Porgo. There was some confusion on, I have a spear on my back, should I just stab him with this? And he was like, nah, that's cool, use something that won't kill him. There was a exciting sequence involving a chain that we pulled on. And then as we pulled on that chain, we were whipped and berated, so that was pretty good. Our beloved Quixote looked deep into the cactus, and his teacher was like, yeah, ask the cactus, because he's like, I gotta know answers, and hey, the cactus has answers. And he talked to the cactus. The cactus was even meaner than Porgo. You're a moron, you're a piece of shit, you don't know anything, you don't deserve to know who your father is. This guy's your father now, you don't know shit, you don't have a father except for this guy, you don't have a life, there's no future for you, you're not the prophecy, you're not the chosen one, you're nothing. And he got enlightened by that. My old buddy Faldir had his training. It was kind of like it was a very like Tyrion and Varys dialogue, really intense back and forth talking about, poison's pretty great, and yeah, intrigue and stuff. And then the part that I'm really fuzzy on comes next, because we met up with our buddy Thanik. Yep. Met up with Thanik, the people's man of the people. We did a job for you once, so we're gonna keep on doing jobs for you. So what jobs do you have for us? And he said, well, you're in luck, I got a job for you. And Milo kind of tuned out, I'll be honest, through the details of it, but it's something that's going to take us 2+ weeks away. We got to go kill it and then bring back as much of it as possible to verify that it's dead.
Fourth day passed pretty uneventfully, night settled in, and then we were attacked by some medium-sized dogs with blue skin. They're called Belgoys.
Scary bell doggos.
And on the sixth night, 4 halflings with vine tattoos attacked again, trying to ambush us, and we killed 2, and then 2 ran away, but 1 was pushed into a fire, and it died in a fire. And I think that's really it.
Good way to go.
But then Quixote had some gnarly visions.
Yeah.
And they essentially told the location of where the Dune Locust was that we've been hunting. And then Shrasa was like, I don't think so. I don't like that. And then we all decided as a party to go anyways. And we rolled horribly and happened to come across a corpse beetle, which Milo charged headfirst into. And then Milo and Tastic went down gloriously fighting it. And then Faldir sneakily tried to take some poison and also went down. And that's where we left off.
Ended up surrounded by elves, 2, and dwarves, 2. And we tried real hard to fight them. and it didn't go so well. But we eventually were victorious. More elves, slime split, run. We continued our trek into the night to find the bug.
And I love that we get there and we're like, all right, who's the sickest? You guys should go in first.
And then I have killed the bug with delighted face. Milo is keeping watch, and then he realizes that our friends are like not doing so swell again. It's like tries to wake them, wakes me, and is like, they're all fucked. As we were realizing this giant tower of obsidian appeared in sort of reddish desert time space warp space. And there were like all these rooms. It was basically a tower of ice. I wrote hookah and or sex as my description of the tower.
Oh, yes.
There was this dude in blue robes with a giant black hat with ladies around him. And Milo and I made a deal to quote-unquote save our friends, wherein we owe him 3 favors over the next 1,001 days. And we agreed to this, and then there was like on our shoulder, and writing on our chest. And then I have friends feel better, smile face.
Strasser was almost drowned.
No, not almost.
Yeah, we'll probably just die more. What is dead will probably die more, as they say.
He had the festival.
The Salia, yo, the Festival of the Cooling Sun.
I'm doing all this from the top of my head, so...
I just want you...
That's what I'm impressed about.
I'm not... That doesn't impress me. That doesn't...
I don't give a shit.
I know less because I'm just lazy. Oh, now I'm impressed.
Exactly. Then Strasser and Milo went dancing in the mud.
My only note says Fat Mining Dwarf.
We get 500 gold and 600 extra if we bring the leader's head named Two-Rag Broken Fang. We agree to it because we're dum-dums and don't ask any reason why or background. And we went to the Twisted Knot and we were really disappointed with it. And because it sucked and the beer was bad beer.
That matches my notes as well.
Thanet comes and he's like, yo, what the fuck did you guys do that for? And then we're like, we didn't know. It's like, oh, okay, sorry about that, I'll fix it. And so he fixes it and brings us back and we all hang out and have a good time.
Well, I can't
need
do
to
math, because
figure out.
Yep.
I've started taking a quote from each session, and the quote from last session is, "There are no booths in Dark Sun."
That matches my notes as well.
Well, I was telling the guys the quote of the session was 6 degrees of super Ebola. Half giants attacked us night 1, and then I have like a little spooked face, and then we win with happy face. And then wormies attack day 2.
Yes.
And then we win, happy face. And Faldir lost a hand, his right hand, right after making one a slimy.
What
and-
emoji
Excuse
is that referenced with?
who was huge, enormous dude with giant tattoos and piercings. And he told me about wild and weird little monsters that fight in strange, invisible ways that burn.
That is information you did not give us.
And then we fight the giant buggin with the zappy. Arrow, kill. Then I have, like, nothing except more little dirty goblin dudes. Faldir and Tasik die, heartbreak. And then first task, what it is. And then I chose Faldir to save. The end, lots of crying faces.
We left the cave. We were real sad about it. Burial of our dearly departed Tasik occurred. We all said some words, some more than others. Consensus being he was a good friend. Now he's dead.
Yeah. At least one of those is true.
You know, when a door is closed, someone opens a window and a bird flies in, and we were gifted a bird as a slave. So we went deeper into the cave. We found 2. So there was like, in the big bad fight where we lost Tasik, there was this boss monster.
Yeah.
And we ran into 2 of those boss monsters. We heard chanting. Someone was going, "Hey, yo, and so we were like, "All right, well, time. We got a time limit here. We gotta make this happen now. No time to rest. No time to breathe. No time to heal. No time to do anything. Let's just go."
Did
so
you
we just
regret
went.
this decision?
That comes later. So there's a bunch of normal dudes and then a really creepy dude and a big pile of bodies inside of an altar that I think was glowing, or else I thought it was something. No, there was just fire. Big altar, not altar, but like a symbol thing. It was a big ritual mess thing. He like killed one of his dudes. We were like, all right, yeah, he's killing his own. But then like all these mouths and eyes came out of it in a big pool.
Yeah.
and that was pretty bad news for us. Things were going really well, and then they got better when this big rock hand came out of the dead bodies went away, and a big hole was there, and then a big hand came on out of that hole, like someone from the other side was doing one of these. We killed all the little baby Hedgekin. We killed the big thing with the mouths and eyes.
Mhm.
That was all fine. Things became much less fine very quickly.
Mhm.
One of us got turned into a newt. Several of us died.
Mhm.
Like, we knocked down real hard.
Yeah, you weren't dead. Though.
And yeah, we weren't mostly dead, and we're good. There's when the scolding happens.
Yeah, there it
So
is.
don't do it
Yep,
again.
right there.
I'm gonna give this to you, but I don't want you to use
the
it. But I'm gonna
shit
give it to
You're
you.
grounded.
But don't
Yeah,
use it
basically.
You're
anymore.
evil
Mama
slime.
Strasa is pissed.
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad. We made a deal with some cat. Now Milo and I have to give up stuff and
All
souls
sorts
and
of
whatever.
bullshit and come on.
It's very naughty. It's all because of your slime, Mister.
Yeah, we were taken out into the desert by a half-elf in a hooded cloak who also worked for this Rakshasa. And we had to kill a person. And we killed them. And he gave us the names of the person's parents, which our characters don't know, but we know what the significance of that is.
And I woke up super early and heard some bullshit crowd murmuring, so I went outside and investigated. And over the gates of Trexados, there was a dude who had been hung and, like, had the shit beat out of him. And there was the Rakshasa symbol on his forehead. And I was like, that's weird. And then I went back to the hotel. Milo and Cled went and trained with Porgo at the arena. And I went to train at the House of Blessed Waters. And then we went to the house of this injured farmer. And he had a fucked up leg. And I used my healer's kit. And Faldir did some training in there somewhere, but I didn't write anything about it because, like, it's Faldir.
I went to see the guy who's usually my contact and will no longer be my contact for training.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. Because you, like, walked in and Lady Nika was like, what up? And we were all like...
You guys were all like that. I'm like, if I die, I die. It's fine.
And we bought Bombo the Innik, who is a male.
Yes.
And then we discussed the Faldir Inika job offer, and that she wanted us to lead people in her favor. And we were all kind of like, And then we went to bed. And Faldir had a spoopy dream.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's where we learned about the people that we're going to potentially meet. It told him about two people, these piercing green eyes. Told him about two people and said that we were not the only ones seeking this artifact. One is a giant wielding a chain, and one is a mind like a mass of worms, which means they're dumb. And then we set up camp because, like, we were tired and shit, traveling. And Milo and I bonded as fuck over my healing kit. And then on the 16th of Mist, we started to see the city/ruins. And we see the giant woman gladiator with the chain, which we assumed was the lady from Faldir's dream.
We traveled a lot, and then we got to Cled. We
Yes.
started out
What
just
happened?
walking into the town, and we actually found out that Cled isn't really like a city. It's just kind of broken up and destroyed, and like ancient ruins and stuff, and there's a whole bunch of dwarves that are there trying to work to uncover everything, because that's like their God-given right or whatever religion they follow. And we met this traveling group there called this waste walking group there called the Dawn's Light, which is led by Lasmin, who's a half-elf, there's Curious, who's a Mull, and then there's Maram, who's a Dray. We got kind of confused, and we're like, okay, what's going on? Mila's like, wait, I got this, I'm half-dwarf, watch me. Okay, I wrote down Ryan, so it's not Ryan, it's Elder Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we talked to him, and he was very moved by what we want to do, because we were essentially like, yo, we're of the people, and we're not racist, so dwarves are people too, so we want to help you guys out. And he was like, okay, cool, here's where the tomb's at.
There you go.
We all went back to the surface. We took our
Mm.
long rest. I had a vision of Sorcerer Queen Oba. And in this vision, she and a servant of hers were having a conversation about what I assume is this slime that I've been carrying around with me that she spread a plague to a Thri-Kreen civilization and planning to use against an individual
Certainly
called the
not.
Shadow King, most likely another Sorcerer King. So, I had that vision. I woke up, I didn't tell anyone about it.
Yep.
And we went back into this crypt. And then we went into the other room that is almost exactly the same, except some of the coffins are made of a different material, I think. And we're like, okay, we know what's going to happen this time. We'll be totally prepared to strike this motherfucker down. We were not. We were not prepared to strike this motherfucker down. And we got a metal weapon out of it, finally. And we got another set of, I assume, prayer beads, but I don't know for sure. And that all happened and was horrible. After that, we entered the next room and discovered an entity that was made entirely of psychic worms, who we then fought and killed. And we got the artifact. And then with the artifact, we went back to the dwarves, and somebody made an executive decision that we were going to give the dwarves this artifact. And now we're going back to town empty-handed for no pay.
She gave you the option.
I just love the string. Like, every time, Rennie, you don't know this, but every time we get something cool, like, someone better than us takes it.